What's going on, guys, and welcome back to a brand new video. This is Web Dev Journey, and today we're going to be implementing Redis into our mini shop application. Okay, in the last video I did talk about a little bit about Redis, and we did implement it in a way we're just storing data. In this video we're going to be implementing it as a session storage. So yeah, let's get right into it. So first of all, we do need to npm-i or I Redis. No, I forgot to save it. --i --save Redis. There we go. And over here we're going to be using Redis. Not using it, setting up our config for Redis, which is basically just Redis. And then we're gonna have options. You could do this however you guys want. This is just the way I'm going to be doing it. Port, and our port was 37. Wait, no, not 37. Sorry, 7379. No semicolon. But you could do this however you want, guys. You don't have to have it this way. Redis option. You could just do Redis port and then whatever the port is or whatever. Right? This is just how we're gonna be accessing our stuff. If we want to add more stuff, we'll just be adding it here and then referencing it out there. Alright, now that we have that, let's actually connect to Redis using over here in our bin, www. So we do need to get, well actually I could just do right here, the Redis, and let's connect to Redis. And guys, all we're doing right now is just connecting to Redis database. That is it. That's it. Nothing too confusing, okay? Const Redis client is going to be equal to Redis, and the reason I'm setting it as a variable is because unlike Mongoose, which keeps a global connection alive for us, Redis doesn't do that. So we actually have to pass this around into the applications or to the files that we actually need. So that's why I'm assigning it here, and then I'm just going to append it to the config file up here, which is used basically everywhere. So Redis.create client, and then we do need to pass in the .options .port, not just the port, just the options. The reason just the options is because just in case we do add more stuff, we're not just limiting this client to the port. What if we want to add other options? You get my gist, right? So this is going to have our port number. That does not, you don't have to worry about that. So Redis client dot on, and this time we're going to use a different event. We're going to say ready. Once it's ready, warmed up and ready, we're going to do we're going to send out a log.info, and we're going to say successfully connected connected to Redis. Alright, now that we have this, we're gonna just append it to the config file. So config.redis.client is going to equal to Redis client, just like so. Control save, and now let's start this puppy up. npm start, and we should have no warnings or no errors. Please don't have any errors. We have errors. We have some errors. Let's see what's going on. I know what's going on. Docker ps. Yeah, okay. Docker start MongoDB and Mongo. Don't forget to start up your containers. Start MongoDB and Redis. Alright, now that that's started, we could actually do it again. npm start, and everything should be, there you go. There you go. Successfully connected to Redis and successfully connected to MongoDB. Awesome. All right, now that we have that, we're going to be using it as a in-memory session storage, okay? Session storage. And we're already using in-memory sessions and for our messages. If you recall, when you create an item, it gives you like a successful message, or when you delete it, it gives you messages, correct? So we're going to be doing the exact same thing, and that lives in the app.js. As you can see right here, where is it at? Set up messaging, flash messaging, and all that. So we're going to be using Redis for our session storage for buckets, or for our basket. So we do need to, let me add another one. We do need to install a module, and that's called connect Redis. So -- save. So connect -Redis. And we're going to be using it up here, right here. And I'm just going to what is happening? Okay, screw it. I'm just I thought I'm not Redis store, and we're gonna be using connect -Redis. And we do need to pass in the session that we will be using, which is express session, as an object. So passing in session, and that's basically it. Now we just need to use it down here where we use session. So let's create a new property called store, and we're going to say new Redis store, and we're going to be giving it the port, what port to connect to. So that lives in config dot, like I said, we use config for everything basically right here, because we're passing it as when you export it, we pass it in as well. So config Redis dot options dot port, and let's get this comma, and there, that's pretty simple. I mean, it plays really nice with express sessions, or with sessions in general. So let's restart that thing, or our project, one more time. Oh, and something went wrong. Let's see. Oh, I think I know what it is. Where's Redis 4? Okay. So there's a new way to do it if you have 4.0, version 4 or higher. We no longer need a port. We no longer need to do the what's it called? The port. We need to pass in the client in this. If you're doing version 3, pass in the port like we did right now. But since I did the new one, the 4.0, we're going to be using the client, which is in config Redis. I'll just grab this. Config Redis client, control save. Now this should work. There it is. All right. What is it? Localhost. Localhost. I'm doing mother screen. There we go. Let's just add some stuff. I already added me as a manager or a user. Let's add another item. Let me see. Name. We're gonna do shoes. And we're gonna do 34.99. Submit, and we have that. Now let's see how it looks like in our Redis, in our Redis database. And we're gonna be using again Redis Commander. Redis Commander, and we're gonna be passing in the port. So Redis -port. And 7379. Okay, it's in localhost 8081. So let's go there. Localhost 8081. Is it 8081 or 8080? Let me just click it here. Oh, there it is. Okay, and as you can see right here, we do have a new folder, sessions. If you click in there, we do have a a session because we logged in, right? We logged in and we have nothing right now, but check it out. We actually have something, okay? We actually have a session in store. Awesome. All right, now let's actually do some stuff with this session. And we're going to be using it for, like I said, for the basket, for our cart. Go back over here. And in order to do that, we do need to go inside of services and basket service. This is where we're going to add all of our functionality to what happens when they add a cart, grab all the stuff from the cart, all that stuff, okay? So the first thing I'm going to do is actually do a module export because, like I said, we do need to pass in that client so that way we could use that. Exports, and we're going to set that equal to, I'm going to just say underscore client, and it's going to be an arrow function, and let's just say sanity check. If there is no client, then let's just throw in a new, dude, come on, error. We're going to say missing Redis client object. Okay. All right. Now we're going to set client equals to underscore client. Now this is optional. This is just for me. I'm just doing it because I want to know that this is different from this and what we're going to be using upstairs. So I'll tell you in a bit what we're using upstairs. And then we're going to return the functions that we actually create. But I'm going to leave this blank for right now. So let's go up here. And I'm going to just say let client. We're going to set that equal to null for right now. Okay. So the first function, let's async function, is going to be a add item function. So I'm just a function add, and we're going to be passing in the item, item ID, and the user ID. Okay. So before we get into this, I do want to tell you the functions or the methods we're going to be using with Redis. So that way you do not get confused. Let me push, where is it at? Oh, right there. Okay. So the very first method we're going to be using is hget. Basically, not hget, hset. Where is it at? Setting. Oh, we're already there. Okay, hset right here. So we're basically going to set, hey, this is, remember, the my hash is the key name or the table. But anyways, we're going to be giving it a name, and then the field, in this case, remember, it's going to be a key value. So the field is the key and the value is hello. And then once you get it, we're going to just say, hey, we want to get something from my hash, and that, which is called field 1, what the key is called field 1, and what is that value? And it's hello. We're going to actually be using these two actually. So that's a good example right there. And also one more thing is we're going to be grabbing where is it at? Encrypt by. And the reason why we're doing this, it did not load. Okay. And the reason we're doing this is because since it's a basket, we're going to be incrementing that item. Let's say that they already have that item. Let's say I already have socks in my cart, right? But I want to grab 5 of them, right? So I'm going to click it 5 times. But I don't want 5 different socks in my cart. I just want the quantity of that to be 5. So we're going to be incrementing that by 1 every time they click that add to cart button for socks. And you'll understand more and more once we actually go through the project and you actually start seeing what's happening. Okay, just know that we're going to be using encrypt by and get and set, and you already know what those do already. They're pretty much self-explanatory. All right, so over here, you do need to know that client or Redis client doesn't return promises, and I really want to use promises, so we're going to be doing promises. So return, we're going to say new promise. Now there's a lot of ways to do this. I'm just doing the old fashioned way, which is creating a new promise. And there's going to be a resolve and a reject. All right. So the first thing that I need to figure out if there is already a item in that basket. So the item they're trying to add, I want to figure out if that's in the basket already. So I'm gonna do an hgit and grab all the stuff in the basket first of all. So hgit, and I'm gonna just name it. This is going to be, like I said, the name. So we're gonna just say, I'm gonna just say basket, and then give, well, let me do template strings. Do template strings because we're going to say, hey, we want basket and then the user ID. Where is it at? Nope. User ID. So this is our basket name right here, which is going to be basket and then the user ID. And then what do you want to, well, what exactly do you want to get? Well, we want to get the item ID. And don't worry, you like, if it makes sense now, great. If it doesn't, it will make sense later on. Like I said, let me pull up that right here. We're getting it. We're just grabbing that. Hey, we want to grab field 1. In this case, it's the item ID. And if there is something, then great. We actually do have that in the cart. Okay. All right, item ID. So if everything goes well, we might have an error or we might have an object coming back at us. And if there is no object, then we're going to just return reject error. Okay. But if there is, my bad, if there's an error, we're going to return the error. And then if there's no object, basically that means that we don't have that item in the cart, so we're going to have to add that item to the cart. So what I'm going to be doing is return client dot, this time we're going to be setting our basket, and it's actually going to be almost the exact same thing. So I'm just grab the first bit. We're going to be setting that basket with exactly the same user ID inside that same basket with the item ID, and I want to set the quantity to 1 for right now. And then after that, I'm just going to say, I'm gonna give this another name, so it set error, and then we're gonna give it res with the response. And then if there's a set error, then we're gonna just, is exactly the same thing over here. Set error. All right. Oh, and then return resolve res. All right. So far what we've done is, hey, once they add an item, or when they're trying to add an item, we're gonna grab the basket. All right, we're gonna grab the basket of that item ID, that item that they're trying to add. We're gonna grab the basket with that item ID. Now, if there is no object, basically that means that, hey, they've never added this item ID before, or this item, they never added it in cart before. So what we're going to be doing is creating one or setting it in our basket. Okay. Now, if there is an ID, that means that it already exists inside of the basket. So what we want to do is not create a new one. We don't want another row. What we want to do is just increment it, because right now we're setting it to 1, right? We're setting it to 1. So we just want to increment this number right there. So that's what we're going to be doing. If there is no object, we're going to create it with a quantity of 1. If there isn't one, if there is one, what we're going to be doing is incrementing it. So we're going to do, basically is exactly the same thing. So I'm just copy this, paste it right here, but instead of hset, it's going to be incra by, I want to say okay, that is right. And then we're going to get the basket ID and then the item ID, and then we want to increment it by 1, and I'm just say inc, so that way we know what error this is referring to, because people actually do get confused if I say all these errors. And return resolve res. Awesome. That's basically it right there. Let me just add my semicolons. And why am I getting a freaking error? Is there an error? I see. I don't have my, there you go. All right. And why do I have this? Maybe because I don't need the, okay, there we go. All right, awesome. So this is, I already explained it, right? That's that. Now, let's do a function that is going to get everything. So async function get all. We're going to be passing in the user ID because we want everything from that user ID. And we're also going to be doing a promise, or return new promise. New promise. Resolve. Reject. All right. So client dot, and the way we're going to be getting it is yeah, they have a function for basically everything. It's called hgetAll. Okay, and let me actually show you that. If I go right here, where is it at? Right here, hgetAll. Did it? Okay, right here. You see that? HgetAll, and then you just pass in the name of it, and it'll give you everything that's in there. Notice that it does have the key and value right here. Field 1, hello. Field 2, world. See that? So that's basically it. It's pretty simple, right? So that's why you're doing it. We do want to pass this in, and we're gonna get a error, or we're actually going to get a response back. And if error, this is, we've already done this so many times. If error, return or reject the promise. If everything is great, all handy dandy, we're going to resolve the promise, resolve, and then pass in the response. And that's that for that. Now we're going to focus on remove. So async function remove. And what we're going to be passing in here is the item ID, yes, and the user ID. All right, and right here, return again, new promise with a resolve reject scenario. You already know. And we're going to be using this time. Don't worry, this time we're going to be using hdel. Now let me explain what's going on there. Over here, let me see, where is it at? Right here, hdel. So you can see right here, they're setting field 1 to foo, and they're giving a 1 by because we actually set it. And then once they delete it, they'll get, hey, 1 was deleted, awesome. And since we didn't set nothing to h or field 2, it say, hey, 0. And then they try to delete h1 again, or field 1. And you get 0 because nothing's been deleted because there's no record, right? So that's what we're going to be doing. Let me go back to my code. So hdel, and we need to pass in. Let me just grab this. Pass in the name, and then the item ID. If everything goes great, well, we're gonna have an error or a response. So if error, we're gonna reject it. If not, then I could have just copied that. I don't know why I didn't do that. Return, resolve, res. And that's pretty much it. Those are our functions for right now. Remember, we're just adding an item. And we're already taking into account if we already have an item in the cart, and we're also going to get all items. Remember, when they click the cart item, you want to show them all the cart stuff that they have. So that's basically that. And then if they want to remove it, then we'll just remove it. We're not going to decrement it. We're going to remove it completely. That's going to be a challenge for you guys to decrement the actual count of the cart, and you'll see what I'm talking about right after we do this. So we need to return right here. We're going to return the add function, the get all function, and the remove function. Control save, and yep, those are our services. This is actually turning out to be a long video. Now, okay, I'm sorry about that, guys, but it's a good kind of long video, right? You're learning a lot. All right, now that we have that, let's set up our, now we need to, wire this up to our shop, to that way you can actually see the items in our shop and actually see our cart. So I already have the logic for that. What I'm going to be doing is uncommenting that. So in routes, in our shop, our index, let's just comment all of this out. So get rid of this, and get rid of this, and down here, this. So let me actually show you what's going on. So if you go up right here, this is our shop page basically. So we're gonna grab, when you hit the shop route, we're gonna grab all the items that we've created already and render it to the shop. I forgot that we are using some stuff like item service and basket down here. So we do need to incorporate those. So let's do it right now. So const item service is going to equal require, and it's out in the services and the item service, and we're also going to do it for the basket service as well. So basket service. All right, but remember, basket service over here, we are passing in the client, Redis client. So down here, what we need to do is const basket is going to equal basket service and passing in the Redis client, and that's in config.redis redis.client. All right, so anyways, right here we're just grabbing all the items and spitting it out in that render, that view. And right here it's just to once we adding and deleting items. Right here you can see that, hey, the item was added to the basket, or there was an error. We're just adding or deleting, or just adding items. But to let users add something to the basket, we also need the concept of a logged in user. As you can see, if you don't have a logged in user, we are going to get a warning. Please log in first, right? So, but I already have that. If you go to admin users index.js, and then here I created a route called fake and then the user ID. It takes a user ID and it will then set the user ID on the session. Now, all that we have to do is add some logic that will load a given user when there is a user ID on the session. The best place to do that is actually in app.js file, because this is actually a good case for middleware. So over here, and we actually have middleware already for the messaging services that we're doing, the flash message. Right here, there you go, user notification, which is, yeah, the messages of flash messages, right? But anyways, now we need to include the modules up here. Let's do a const user service. We're going to set that equal to require serve. Whoa, it's in the current directory, not out. Services and the user service. We're going to do this one more time, but this is going to be for the Control D, the basket service. Now, once again, we are using the basket service. So down here, we do need to create a const basket is going to equal basket service, and we need to pass in the Redis client. So config.redis.client. Now let's head back. Why is this? Did I do something in here? Oh yeah, I did. I uncommented. Okay, now let's go back to our middleware down here. There it is. Okay, right after this is where we're gonna add some logic to this thing. All right. So I'm gonna do a try catch block first of all. So try, and then catch error. Okay, and if there's an error, we're gonna return next error. All right. So here's our business logic. And basically what we're doing is just, we're going to be basically grabbing the user ID, whatever user ID is in this is in the current session. And then we're going to just spit out their contents if they have any basket contents. Sorry, we're going to spit out their basket content or items if they have any basket items. Okay. So that's what we're going to be doing here. So I'm going to say if there is no rec dot session dot user ID. If there's no user ID, why did I do if there's no? If there is a user ID, then we want to do some stuff. What we want to do is res.locals.current user. So that way we could have this and use it in all of our templates. We're going to set that equal to await user service dot get one. And we're passing in the actual user ID. So we get that user, okay? Now what we want to do is actually grab the basket content of that user. So basket contents, I guess, and then await basket dot get all, and then we're going to grab everything from this user. Copy, paste it right there. Now I do want to add one more thing, and this is just an integer. So you know how most of the sites have, like, hey, you have 15 items in your basket. They have that number, right? That integer. So we want to do that as well. Right now we don't have that, so we're going to add the logic right here. So I'm actually going to create a variable, say count. It's going to set that equal to 0 for right now. And then if there's actually basket contents, that's good. We could actually loop through that basket. Now remember, what we get back is an object. So again, we do need to use object.keys, passing in the basket contents, and then dot for each for every key that we get. We're going to be just count plus equals, and I'm going to say parse int, so that way I make sure that it is coming in as an integer. So basket contents key, and then I'm going to set it to base 10. All right, go down here, and this is for the if, so that's down here. And now what we need to do is actually just set that to the local, so that way we have it visible to all the templates using it, or that wants to use it. So that res locals.basket basket count. We're going to set that equal to count. I'm just naming it count. I'm naming it basket count, okay? And we're just setting it equal to the count. All right, now that we have all this in place, let's give it a go. Let's see what we have so far. I do need to restart this. Let's see, no errors. Okay, everything went smooth. So let's head back over here. Just refresh the page. All right, let me add another item, just for, I'm gonna say shirt, and I'm gonna give that shirt a 14.99. That's pretty basic, right? Submit. There we go. If I go to manage users, let me add another user. See, if I click right here, if I didn't have no user, but I'm logged in as wdj@gmail.com, and if I do another one, let's say web dev journey wdj. Screw it, at gmail.com, and then password 123456789, whatever. Submit. If I actually click on this, it'll switch it to logged in as web dev journey. See that? But I'm just WDJ. Now if I go to shop, all of our lists or all of our items are here. If I add to basket, you can see right here, one item in basket. And if I just keep on clicking, 9 items. and we haven't set up our basket. Let's do that right now. But you see, everything is actually working. Manage items, manage users, our shop, everything's actually working. Okay, so let's actually set up that basket image or the view, and that's going to be in the basket right here. But let me get rid of some of these in the basket and index.js. Now I do have it commented out. I already did this for you guys. So we do need to include some stuff. So const item service is going to equal require services and item service. Now let's do that 2 more times, because we still need the Control D, the bucket, and also the Control D user service. And since we're using bucket again, we do need to say down here const basket is going to equal basket. Did I say bucket? Oh man. Control D basket service, and passing in the config.redis.client. Now let's uncomment all this stuff, and I will explain to you what's going on here. So basically, the first one, this is the basket item where we get, and Richard's going to grab all of the stuff in our basket, as you can see right here, which is grabbing it and just displaying it in our basket. You see, render basket and then the items. Down here is if we want to remove one, we will remove it. Why is there? Oh, because of a return statement. And you do need to be logged in first. See that? So anyways, if you want to remove it, we're going to try to remove it. We do a try catch block right there. And then this, oh God, this one. Oh, well, let's not uncomment this one. This was actually for the buy, and we're not going to implement that just yet. That's actually for the MySQL part of this whole thing, and so is the rest of it. Yeah, it's just that one. So let's actually try this one more time. Control C, yes, npm start. Okay, let's go back to our shop. So I have 9 items. As you see, my session's still stored, which is pretty awesome. Let me go to 9, and there you go, my basket. I have 5 socks, 2 shoes, and 2 shirts. And if I remove one, and this is the challenge that I was talking about, if I remove one, it'll just remove that completely. The challenge is for you guys to actually get inside there and actually decrement it by 1, and that's pretty easy. You're still going to be using, let me pull that up. Where is it at? Where's inc? You're still going to be using this increment by, because you could actually set a negative number right here, as you can see, and it'll just decrement it. So I'm just giving you a little hint. Just use that, and then there you go. But that's basically the challenge, guys. And honestly, that is it for this video. All right. If I go to right here, I don't have anything in the items, as you can see, right? I have 4, and over here I don't have any. Let me actually see what's going on over here. So that way you can see what's going on, right? In baskets. Look at that. Look at that. You see that? It's pretty awesome. And we only have 1 session, obviously, or 1 basket, because only 1 user did that. If I did it again, let me see. Okay, I'm in. So let me go to my shop and just add. Okay. I don't know what that was. All right, let me refresh this, and we got 2 baskets in here, 1 for each user. All right, as you can see, sessions we still have 1 because we're only in 1 session. But yeah, that's pretty cool, right, guys? It's awesome. So that was it for this video, guys. All we did, or I say it like if it was nothing, we did quite a bit. So what we did was added Redis to the session storage. That sounded weird. We added a session storage with Redis. We also did the basket service, doing all those functions for the basket service. And then we put everything together. We just uncommented a lot of things. And super sorry about uncommenting thing, guys. I'm not this, like I said, this video isn't really about Express or Node.js. That should be very simple, and all this stuff is actually Express and Node.js. It's just, you know, router get, you know, and then we're just getting the request or the response or the request and just doing something with that. That's Express by itself right there, all right, and Node.js. So that's why I had that pre-done for you guys, and all you have to do was comment it out if you wanted to, or you have to actually make this work. So we're just focusing on databases, all right? That's basically it. But that was it, guys. Thank you for watching this video. I hope you liked it. I hope you learned something from it. Leave a like, leave a comment down below, and subscribe if you have not. If you really like the content that I'm putting out, please subscribe. It'll help me out. Like the video as well. That would help me out as well. But thank you guys so much for watching, and I will see you in the next video. Thanks. Bye.